We're live. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Welcome, 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 guys. We're live. We are 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 live. Um, Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Gist with Anu and Dami. How we
Can you hear
all
me?
doing today? Dami is here. Anu is here. Are we getting live on Instagram? Or have we actually told the person that?
Please just let him know because he said he needed 3 minutes.
Oh, 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 oh.
So we're doing it. He's doing it on both of our pages.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. It's your first time joining us. Welcome to Friday Night Gist with Anu and Dami.
Are we live already?
Yes, we are live. We are live.
Ah, why did you tell me? Ha. Hi guys. Hi.
Hello, people.
Hi.
Are you feeling our setup? We are upgrading little by
Wait,
little, little by
can
little. We are
let
upgrading.
me.
Um,
We are getting there. Ministry is moving. Help us get
it's
there. Help
moving.
us. Get
Let's get to the promised land, people. Let's get to promised land, people. So this is just joining us. Let's see, show us some likes, show us some love, send us a message on the comment section. If you want to join in, we're just gonna give you
Are we
a
live on Instagram yet?
I don't think so. I think he's working on that. I would think he's working on that. Working, working. Oh my god, I'm so excited, guys. You know why? Because my setup. Well, let me not talk. So I told you that I got the Elgato thing to do the camera link and stuff. It was a struggle. It was a struggle. But guys, we are here. We are live. Um. Okay. We just need to confirm Instagram live, and we're ready for you, people of God. Dami, please, can you paste the StreamYard link on the comment section so that people can join
I'm not.
us? People. Oh, okay.
Like I don't even know where. I can't say anything you're saying. So I don't know the people that are there.
Okay. No, no, he has not done it yet. I think I have a two-way authentication, and that's what's giving issues. Sorry, guys. It's me. It's me. Uh, I disabled it. Yes. Okay. Okay.
But what Ezekiel is doing, we will need our phones, right?
It doesn't look like we're needing our phones if he's doing that. God, this looks so good, guys. This looks so good. This looks so good. We're looking for everyone to join in. Today we're talking about something very important, and I feel
But
like
I can't see
everybody.
anything. I can't see anything. Hold
What can't
on.
you see? You
I
can't
can't.
see
I
my
don't know.
phone.
The only person I've seen is you. Like I
Hmm.
can't. I can't see comments. I can't see.
No, we've not had any comment. That's why I say you should put in the comments. Put the link in the comment section so that people can join in. Can join in. I know we have two people watching us right now, so welcome people, welcome people, welcome people, welcome people. I'm so excited. How's your week, Dami?
It was really good. It was very busy. Um, I'm sort of. It's one of those things that I'm glad that the week is over, but there's more week ahead. There's more work ahead. So like it's. I don't know. I'm just glad that I did. I even forgot that it was Thanksgiving this weekend. I don't have any
I
plans.
went to get stuff outside, and the woman is like, you're not buying chicken, you're not buying turkey. I'm like, why? The woman behind me was laughing. She's like, oh, Thanksgiving. I'm like,
I
I
I
thank you,
absolutely
Lord,
forgot.
you are holy. I'm like, I'm good. We are thanking God. We thank God. That is it. But guys, let's know in the comment section, how are you spending Thanksgiving this weekend? What you going to do? What you going to do this weekend? Yes, let's know. Let's know what you're going to do. If you're going to have you is it primed your turkey or whatever it is that you're supposed to do, have you done it? Have you done it? Because it's gonna be a late weekend. For me, I'm just going to chill. I'm gonna be indoors. I don't think I have any plan for Thanksgiving, to be very sincere. Is there any face tracker thing on my face? Or it's just me?
Yeah,
There is.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
So
there's like a fish tracker
it's tracking my
on
face.
you.
Why is it now showing on the live? It's actually showing the entire it's mirroring the screen of the camera.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. I have to do something about that.
Okay, I think we're about to go live on
Are we
nine
live
to
on Instagram?
almost 921
Yeah, so
21.
it's showing the entire screen of the camera, which is very weird.
You see, you have get set up now.
No, is don't let the girls say I'm borrowing camera. I'm borrowing camera, people. But I don't know why it's showing everything about the camera on the screen. Guys, this is not the intent. This is not the original plan, This is not the original plan, but we bless the Lord. We bless the
Guys,
Lord.
this is not the intent. This is not the original.
So Dami is showing herself by going live on, okay, so it's showing, I think it's telling my other okay. Yay! We are live, 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 we are live. So for those that are going to join us on Instagram, please join us. Join us, join us, join us, join us, join us.
Are you on Instagram? Is it live?
It's showing a dark screen, but yes, we are live. Yippee yappy you, yippee yappy you. We are live on Instagram. Oh my god, I'm such guys. You don't know how excited I am. Like they didn't know how excitement. The excitement in my spirit is very deep. Okay, so Dami, let's
Wait,
start.
am I live on my own page? Can you check my Instagram?
Wade in the waters. Let me check Dami.
Okay.
Wade in the waters. No, no, no. Wade.
No, I'm not.
So, people, for those that in Nigeria, we bang our chest with you. For those that went out to protest today, we celebrate you. And we pray that God will give us great leaders that will actually understand that the power is to the people and not to them. So I wanted to say shout out to everyone that went out on that
You know
protest
what? I
today.
even wanted to say something about that. I'm
Yeah.
just like my own setup is not up yet. Um, but yeah, that's probably
So
sorry. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to disable. How do you disable your two?
so you go to your settings and you go to security and
Mhm.
disable it. All of us we are privacy conscious. Security, sir. Oh guys. So I believe that people should be able to watch right now. You should be able to watch and see us live right now. Okay, so we have people. So yes, we're live. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna be live in a minute, so you'll be able to join also on our page. So if you're not following her, please don't forget to follow at Anu Adedire and at at damiadini.com, and you can watch us live on YouTube and Instagram live. We are
But if you would like to join the conversation, like it's easy to join the conversation on it isn't join conversation on
YouTube.
Instagram. So if you like to join the conversation,
Damn, you have to cancel that thing you're watching.
sorry. So honestly, technology is overwhelming. Anyways,
I think
well,
I like how everything is upgrading. Like it blows my mind. You've always like I'm like there's an upgrade, there's an upgrade, there's an upgrade. But all the upgrade always chop money. So God providing for all the
honestly,
upgrades.
you
Because
guys,
sometimes you see all those tiny things, you just see 200 and something dollars, 300 and something. Shout
honestly,
out to all the Nigerian producers that are buying all these things in dollars and naira. Y'all are the MVP. And a big shout out to Yay TV for also hooking us up. We have to give a big shout out to him.
Yay TV, like you guys
He's
don't
the
even know
real
what
MVP. Y'all should go
he's
patronize
like.
our brother.
You guys don't know what's coming. This guy is like he's one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. Like when it comes to multimedia solutions, Yay TV, like never before. Last weekend we had a conference, a women's conference,
Yeah.
and it was Yay TV that did all the broadcasting, that did all the, like in fact it was amazing. He has an app. Gay TV, you should also check that out. But when it comes to multimedia solution done right, Baba, hey, Ezekiel Akitola, that's his name. We call
You
him
want to write him
Yay.
a check?
Right when you're writing a check, the name is
Yeah.
Ezekiel
Name is Ezekiel.
Akitola. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We're so
He's been
grateful. A big shout
he's
out.
been one of our supporters like from day one. So we're glad to, have him in our corner. Anyways, so what I wanted to say about the enters thing, you know what? First of all, like it's so sad with everything that is going on.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really stood out to me with all the protests is the fact that did you see small doctors crowd from Agege?
I couldn't follow up everybody. I think I saw files. I saw a couple of people, but I didn't see everybody's. It was a lot. I saw the women. I saw a lot of people. It was
Like, and the thing with what was fascinating about small doctor is that his crowd, the people he gathered from Agege, and it just what was profound to me is the fact that sometimes where you
shout
are.
out, shout out to my husband for removing that stuff. Thank you. I don't have to do that shout out so that he just saw my ministry on display and it's like, let's not look like this. Even though the face tracker is you following me up and down, but I don't mind that one.
Shout out
Okay.
to what's his
Mr.
official
Shay Auto
name?
Pro, please, if you want, come and take picture. Come and take picture. Not free, not free. But 4 pictures. Come take your 4 pictures. Amazing stuff. We're gonna be putting out new stuff.
All right, so I'm live. I'm live on my platform as well. Yay! So now I think we are having our act together. Everything is coming up together. Please, please, please do us a favor. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We want to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year. So please make sure you like, you share, you subscribe. Help us, help us, help us. You see all these gangetes that we're doing. It's not free. It's not free. It would be nice to also cut, Yay solutions from a check and be like for a job well done. So please support our brand. We're not asking for much. All we say is that make sure this link, as you're looking at it on YouTube, especially if you're on YouTube, please, 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 please share the link, get everybody on board. We're about to have a very, very interesting conversation, and we'd like for you to be a part of it. So back to what I was saying about Small Doctor.
Yeah.
I found Small Doctor fascinating because he is very, very popular in Agege. Like you know, that's his base, so to speak. And he came with like I've never seen all the other people. Kudos, they did. It's not about the numbers, but the crowd from Agege, and it just made me realize that a lot of times when we're thinking about our circle of influence, we're thinking about, oh, I have to move to the highbrow areas. I have to be at a certain place. I have to do certain things. But you have a circle of influence. Do you understand what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have a circle of influence that you have you can influence. Like it was crazy. It was mad. I was like, wow. Like the numbers when they started coming, they marched from Agege to Ikeja. When they started coming, people were just like it was just so profound.
Mm.
So look at it this way: that sometimes we might not be where we want to be, or where we expect to be, or where we think that we'll have that circle of influence, because we think that until we get to parliament,
Yeah.
until we get to um, XYZ, until we get to we're operating from VI, or we're operating from the highbrow areas, that we don't have that circle of influence. But or even Toronto, it feels like, oh, except I'm in Ontario, that's when I can really manifest. But wherever God has put you, that's your circle of influence,
Yes.
and use it to your advantage. So kudos to everyone in Nigeria that went out today. It's sad with what's going on. If you're not Nigerian and you don't know what's going on, there has been serious police brutality. A lot of times when people say that, when people say um, in North America that we don't understand how it is, especially being African immigrants. There's nothing more sad than being victims of police brutality in your own country. Can you just imagine?
By
You
your
know,
own people.
by your
Yes.
own people.
Yeah.
So yeah, so kudos to everybody that went out today. We're going for NSAS, and the reason why everyone's saying NSAS is that this has happened over and over again. Every year for the last 6 years, there's been riots, there've been protests about this. Sorry, not riots, protests about um police brutality in Nigeria, and all the time they say, "Oh, it will be reformed. They will do something about it," and like people keep dying. Or like, I mean, if I am in Nigeria currently, I probably would have been stopped and said so many times because people that know me know, like they know Dami's
No,
office is a
so
backpack.
so Dami, it's not even about the people. Like it's not about the ratio between ladies and guys is like, let me be sincere, which when I was in Nigeria was the same thing, even for the regular police guys, and it
Mhm.
was a ratio between 70 to 30. You're fresh, you have a haircut, you have dreadlocks, you have tattoo, you carry a laptop bag, you're driving a car, your car is tinted, you're playing music. Those are criteria to be searched and beaten by police. And it's just sad. It's sad that that's happening in 2020, where they said they're going to do the reform at a 2017. So, well, God will help the country to heal. Actually, they're talking about forgiveness, healing, and reconciliation today. So I think it's a good way to start, and it's a great way to start the show today to talk about that. And
Yeah.
I think what brought up the conversation from last week was when we're talking basically about, is it possible to forgive when you've been like, how do you heal after all forgiveness and all that. So we're talking about that, and it was a very great conversation last week. And shout out to everyone that actually joined in last week. We celebrate you. We really, really celebrate you. So moving
Yeah.
forward
So
today, we are going to talk from a perspective of how do I carry this? This movie that I think it was. Oh, okay. So someone is saying Joy said that there's a peaceful protest tomorrow in Toronto by 9 a.m. So if you're in Toronto area and you want to join the peaceful protest, to end SARS that's going on, a movement that's going on in Nigeria, and it's the number one hashtag end SARS is the one trending worldwide right now. So people join the movement. If you want to join in, Toronto people are doing same. So please join them. God bless you. So
yeah, so after this, I'll probably try and find the information and put it on my platform as well. So if you are in Toronto and you're looking for that information, after this, I will put it up and you can get that information. But yeah, we need to do something about it because, as I said, if I was in Nigeria, I carry a backpack everywhere with my laptop, with my phones, with my backpack is my mobile office. So can you imagine how many times I would have been extorted, or how many times I would have been possibly close to death or even short self. So please, let's, as much as possible, even if we're in the diaspora, let's you know, encourage our friends and family back home and give our own take on it. Anyways, to the topic of today, we are talking the topic that we planned, as Anu earlier said, was faith healing and reconciliation. And it just so happened that this week the movie Òlòtūré came out. I think it's a Benin word and it means endurement or endurance. It means endurance, right? And to me, I first of all, starting with the name, the movie is a lot. So if you've not seen the movie, I'm so sorry. We might have a bit of spoilers. We'll try not to say too much about the movie itself,
uh,
but I think you should watch it. I think you should watch it because it's not entertain. I wouldn't even call it any form of entertainment. I would say it's more of educational.
yeah.
And for me, why I had to call Anna and say, you know what, we have to talk about this. I want to talk about this because for someone like me and my experiences and my, it's very parallel to, will you call that parallel? It's very like it's almost unrelatable. It feels like a different world, right? And that's why I shared the experience of me going to Nigeria in 2010. I was on my way to Nigeria for Christmas, and the connecting flight from Doha to Nigeria, we had there was a lady, the lady that sat beside me, was so excited to be going home, and she was just telling me that she just paid off her madam. But me, I didn't even, it didn't really click, right? But it was over the years that I've come to realize what that meant and why she was so excited. And watching the movie just showed the process, because it made me realize, like, oh my god, so this woman probably went through all these things.
Mm.
And there's so many layers to this that I feel like we need to unpack. So first of all, I like that they use the name Òlòtūré, because and it means endurance in Benin, because it's very, very common in those areas. Most of when it comes to trafficking to places like Italy and all that, a lot of their it happens a lot in that area, right? And it just first of all showed how resilient usually these women are, because you can imagine how much they have gone through, and how much they have to go through living that kind of life.
Mm.
And I mean, it was a case of human trafficking. So first of all, the first thing that I want to even point out in the story that stood out to me is the fact that initially I hated Omoni Oboli's character. So she played the character of the madam,
Yeah.
and I didn't like her, like why I hated that character was because I felt like I was angry and upset that you're a woman, you know all this. But then after a while, I started to feel sympathy for her, because you know she was a madam, but she had an oga,
Yeah.
so which was played by what's his name now, Etim Effion, right? I've forgotten his first name. Like, so she had a madam, she had an oga, so she wasn't really even free from that, and you could see the fear in her face when the other guy. So she just had like a little upgrade. So it showed that it's a cycle, right? It's a cycle that, okay, these women are trafficked to Italy, trafficked to whatever country for prostitution. And when they have sort of earned their stripes, so to speak, they are now made madams, and it's a continuous is background is it's a continuous cycle. So what are your thoughts on that? What did you think about that?
So, first off, I would first say that me watching it, the woman's character came from a place of, I think I was sharing this with you earlier yesterday, and I was saying that this, and this happens to a lot of Africans where they feel like whatever I've been through, you have to go through it to understand what I've been through. We don't come
Mhm.
from the empathic side where it's like I have been through this and I don't want you to go through it. So you hear parents say, "Oh, I suffered. My child must suffer. Oh, I this," and the idea is to be better than what we've been through, and other people to be better than whatever we have been through, so they don't make that same mistake. So for me, it was a situation where Omoni Oboli's character was a prisoner of her own. She was a victim of her own prison, and she felt trapped so much that the only way she could work was to actually enslave other people. And that's one thing that I believe that even as Africans, when you see people that just come, even let's even leave from the side of prostitution or whatnot, when you have new migrants that come into your city, I think it is our job to make sure that we give them the ropes on how and what to do.
How to
I think,
survive?
yeah, I think it's unfair for us to feel like they have to suffer like we did, or they have to go through whatnot before they can get used to the system. It's sad. It's sad. Please, it's for me. It's sad is an understatement. So
Yeah, and
I just imagine that she had gone through all that and she felt like the only way these girls can understand or can do better is if they to go through the same thing. And she didn't understand that her liberating them would have been better than
no,
them.
but I think that I wouldn't say she had that thinking. I would think that it's what she's come to know life to be, right? So because eventually some of those new recruits that got into would also become madams to some other people again, and it's a cycle like that. So I think that it's just been what she's known. Don't forget that a lot of these women too live at, I won't say at early development of stages of their lives, but at crucial points of their life where they don't know any, like, they don't have any other skill, they don't have any. So this becomes the only way out. I also wanted to point out the fact that what stood out was another thing that stood out to me, which was interesting because it was close to my house where I live in Nigeria. But the Omoni Oboli's character, so Madame Alera, was in the market. So these people are a part of the community.
Yeah.
They're a part of the community. I was talking to one of my friends, and we're talking about the movie, and she was saying, "Oh, like this was a reminder for her because she grew up in that part of the country where people are being processed. That's the word she used. So it's kind of like, oh, where's this person? Oh, they don't process her. She has got like, and that was it. And the person ceased to exist. And so you're like, okay, yeah, like, in fact, let me even see if I can read how she put it. Like, so she was like, these things happen and they all knew. Like, it was just something that what happened to Ashley Ash? They have processed her, and that was it. That was the end of Ashley. They never heard about Ashley again. And a lot of times their parents were also a part of it. So
Yeah.
I'm just want to pull up how she put it. I'm just going to read what she said. I knew quite a few growing up who were processed. Some of them were people we were growing up with. So do the maths. They were teenagers, and some of them, their parents were behind it. Some ignorantly, others knew.
Hmm.
I'm glad it is out. We need to see more of things like this.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so even for her, it was kind of like a reminder because it was almost the norm then. That, oh, this person, and people knew and nobody did anything about it, which takes me to the towards the end of the story, and see how somebody was openly being slapped, beaten, and everybody was just looking. I
Even
thought that was just so.
and
Sorry.
look at Lala's character, where I'm already a slave, you are a slave. You can't why my own is just a level grade higher than yours. Because
Hmm.
Lala's character would have been the kind of character that other girls had marked her as this is so and
Yeah,
so's
you know go
girl.
area.
And,
Mm.
and it just made me think about our community and how we've gone from place of and I'm just imagining how Lala, someone like her character, will live life like with all these things that people have done to her. And let's imagine that she goes scot, like she breaks free of this guy's character, what's his name, Ikechuku's character, right?
Ikechukwu, mhm.
I'm just imagining for 1 minute how she will be able to forgive if the person that's probably introduced her to Ikuchuku is her brother or her mother or her cousin. Or how do you forgive that kind of person? How do you move on from a place of bitterness where people have actually used you? And you see cases like that where they be like, oh, come abroad, better life. But they never tell you that you're going to be enslaved. They never
Mhm.
mention that to them. So you see these girls, they try, they struggle, they do everything, trying to make ends meet for their family, they try everything. And at the end of the day, it is these people that they call family that subject them to pain, the abuse, the brokenness, everything. And I remember when if you remember, there was a time where they had this thing where people were coming from, is it like what country was it that time? The human trafficking thing, if you can remember.
That they did Libya.
Libya. And a lot of them said it was my cousin, it was my uncle, or it was a Nigerian man that sold me out, or it was a Nigerian
Yeah,
brother.
and wait, and let me even, because a lot of times, and so I'll talk about Kemi's character, right? Is her name Kemi? Like, a lot
Yeah.
of times, it's not thought to be. it's thought as the only way out, right? Is see how she kept saying, "I'm going to get my sister beauty, and so we can get money to help our family." So it wasn't that. I mean, there are some people. It's not to say that there are some people that don't do it because they want to, like really enslave each other. But her thinking was, okay, this is a way we can make our family better, like, and send good money home, right? So yes, there are people that we exploit, and which is so sad because it goes back to slave trade. Like this is it goes back to slave trade. This is how we sold our brothers. This is how we sold our sisters.
Yeah.
And it's really the same thing because look at when Madame Alera is talking about the people that are the higher class prostitutes. So the something chalet or something. I don't know if you guys can remember so when she's talking to Sharon's character and she's saying, "Oh, like it's you that we call this kini, you're not the putana," right? So there's even that demarcation of okay, there are prostitutes that will probably earn higher or valued higher
Oh yeah,
than
that one. Yeah.
yeah. So again, it's really really sad. I think that someone was talking to me yesterday about it and she was like, we really need to talk about this as to how can we do something how can we help the situation, especially as a Christian community. I've never heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've never heard us sort of talk about these things. So I don't know if there are initiatives that we're doing to sort of help out with things like this. But how do we? What can we do to help the situation? I think that a lot of education is needed, but
What about people that are trapped in relationships like that? Do you understand? Like, what about people like that are trapped in relationships that, um,
yeah.
marriages? You get.
Thank you, Tolu. Tolu says specially, yes. It's that's the thing. We have to. I think that you know what? I don't even know what the solution is. That's the thing. And if anyone has any ideas, there's a link to or wants to contribute. So there's a link to the StreamYard on our YouTube, so you can just click on it and join the conversation, and we'll add you on. But to be honest, I don't know what it's. I don't know. I don't know how we can go about it. I don't know how we even expect someone like that to reconcile because at what point, again, I keep going back to Madame Alera, her character. Like even she,
the
I
the,
think at
the
some
abuser will become the abuse will become the abuser at the end of the day. Do you understand?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, but
it's a cycle that some people still don't understand that, until they do better, you get. Some people feel that until other people go through what I've been through, they can't understand me. So I think that for Alero, she has to be caught, and she has to, when they do a rewind on your life. That's the only thing that can happen to Alero, because I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, if Alero knew that what she was doing was wrong, I feel like she could have done better. But Alera didn't see anything wrong, because I feel like Alera has gone through the same thing. And funny enough, we actually read out to the character Alera. We've not gotten the reply back, but we actually want to know the so that we don't start thinking of all these things. And I'm bringing it back to piggyback to the conversation, which is the topic for today. And for me, it's like, when do you, after you've been through a whole lot in life, when do you get to that point of, yes, I've forgiven you, I still see the mark? Let's say you were raped, or you were abused, or whatever it was, right? When you still see that scar on your body, how do you say, um, I don't hurt as much as when it happened? Do you
and
understand?
you know what, especially when it's continuous. So for something
Yeah.
like this, that it's not a one-time thing. So it's easy to say, "Oh, Anu slapped my face," and yeah, I think that that's a lot easier to forgive.
Oh, so let
Because
me, let me even remember one. Sorry, I interjected you. Let me remember one. So I remember that one of the movies that, I think the Mont Zion did, where I think it was Abattoir. Yeah, It was the series Abattoir, where the boy was abused by his stepmom, but because his dad did not know, he felt like it was normal.
Hmm.
I think that's a classic case of Alero, where if another guy met that boy, um, they feel like, okay. So Tolu is saying that she feels that some people know it's not right, but it's what it is. That's the only way they know. So it's their own normal. I think that's the word I should use. It's their own normal. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so another comment from Instagram is: did you guys think about it from the angle of how the governors and senators were involved with Alero? That's
Hmm.
power. If they weren't being beaten or harassed and violated, the ladies wouldn't see it as a big, yes. So I think that's the word. The word is that it's their new normal, because I was just looking at that boy, right? Where until the character of Dami in that movie said this is not normal. The boy is like, but she would touch me, she would do this, she would do that, she'll come and meet me in the middle of the night. And for some boys, they will grow to actually be abusing other people. Do
Hmm.
you get?
Hmm.
And what Joy is asking about is, I think for Alero's character with the politicians is happening right now. There are service madams that supply girls to politicians, and it just shows the integrity of who are and this is me being very frank. It shows the integrity of the people that are put in power, whether it's in Nigeria, because this is, you know who Alero is, a classic case allegedly of is it Mike, the Epstein
No,
guy. That is
Epstein,
just the
Jeffrey Epstein.
classic, is just the classic case of, because I couldn't watch past the second episode on Netflix. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Oh yeah, I
I
didn't
can't
finish
watch
that too.
this. No,
I
I
yeah.
couldn't. Damn it. I cringed to the bones. It was tormenting. It
And you
was
know what?
tormenting.
I like that you pointed that out because
Yeah.
that this is not part. This is not just a Nigerian problem. This is not just an
Not.
African
It's
problem.
not.
It is everywhere. Human trafficking is everywhere. But I don't think I've heard so much of it in Canada, but I'm pretty sure that it's everywhere. I know a lot of people that are part of initiatives in the US, especially to help eradicate human trafficking. So this is a general problem. But one of the things that I also it was difficult for me to understand. Okay, before I even go into that, look at how like this whole human trafficking thing is an ecosystem.
Hmm.
Like you mentioned politicians being involved in it, you know. Maybe they are not involved in the selling of the kidney, but they are involved in it. Right.
Yeah.
You have the local pimp, that has not upgraded to the new things. There are even apps,
Yeah.
when
There are apps, even till now. There are apps for the kind of I've heard different types. There are apps as terrible as the ones that if you even want to, I heard one in Lagos, which was the one. If you want to just get married men or married women, there are apps that can unite you, whether you are married or
oh
not.
yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
here now,
matter.
ashley.com. You have it here. Like
Holy Ghost,
Ashley,
Holy Ghost.
this one,
So Tolu
there
said,
are.
and Madame Alera was probably the politician's call girl. Now, yeah, she has gone
Yeah.
from the victim to the abuser now.
But you know what? There's even in that promotion from her being a call girl to supplier, there's not that much demarcation. Like there's I mean it seems like a little power because you could still see the fear in her eyes. Like you could still see the fear in her eyes where she like when her organs were there. Do you understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was just a slave in house, slave outside situation, you
Hmm.
know so at
Um.
the end of the day, she's. I feel like she's I- with Alera. I had so many emotions with her because it was kind of like I was so upset that how.
She was going through fear. She had the pride issue. She had self-esteem issue. Alera was broken. Alera Alera was that kind of person that, when you beat someone and you're stepping on their head, but once they stand up, they will dust off as if nothing happened. Uh, it just makes me remember one of these action movies, and when they beat you out, and you tell your friend that don't tell anybody that this happened, right? that kind of thing. Alera is that girl that when she's in front of that guy, she's shaking. When she's in front of the politician, she's the power girl. When she's in front of the girls, she's the witch. When it shows the different characters of and it's important to understand that Alera herself is lost. She doesn't know who Alera is.
Mm,
And a lot of us still have that identity issue outside this. Some people have covered it with marriage. Oh, my husband. Oh, my husband. Oh, my husband. And you don't have an identity outside that. Oh, it's my job. Oh, it's my job. Oh, it's my job. And there's no identity outside that. And another comment online on Instagram is we also see Òlòtūré's drive for wanting to expose the trafficking ring for being curiosity driven to vengeance driven. The Stockholm
yeah.
syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, I think that was that was what sort of made her a bit careless, because she now became so emotional. It now became personal,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's not to say like I,
Do you,
after
do you
being
think
raped.
what she did was wise? Okay, so we're into both of us. We tell our stories different ways, right?
Mhm,
You are into sharing the African community in Canada. I'm
mhm,
talking about day to day life, literally what we are doing. Life matters. We talk
mhm.
about things that are going on in our day to day lives. Will you go all the way, all hard to get a story?
First of all, I'm not a journalist, so so please, let's be clear where my commitments. Let's just know that I'm not obligated to. I'm a blogger. This is where you pull that I'm a blogger card. No, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know if there's no story that I think that I've been that passionate. I'm passionate a lot about the stories that I tell and all that kind of stuff, but maybe it's because I tell positive stories. And the reason why I can't even, it's difficult for me is that a lot of times when I have to report negative things or say negative things,
Yeah,
an example is the passing away of those four boys in Kamloops.
yeah,
I think was that earlier this year? Oh, I think that was last year. That was like one of the hardest things I had to do. Like, it took me 6 hours to write that. I got the information when it happened. I was one of the first people to actually, I was actually one of the first people to actually report that story. But I, it took a lot from me. It took so much from me, and it was the family of one of the boys actually reached out to me too because they were so confused. So it became a bit personal, and I felt like um that's not the journalistic thing to do, like, but I mean, a family just lost a son that they sent all the way abroad to come study. Do you get what I mean? Like, a
yeah.
family just lost their relative, so there wasn't any way that I couldn't, like, you know sort of relate to them as being, and I came here as an international student, all that kind of stuff. So I was just pretty much there. Now it took a toll on me. It took a very, very serious toll on me because, again, these, as I said, I knew people that knew them. The pastor of their church is actually the pastor of the Redeemed Church in Kamloops is um one of my guys, like one of my big brothers, right? That's, I joke with him that now he's a pastor, so him and his wife. So it was just a mess for me emotionally. So given that experience, I don't know if I don't know. I really don't know, because, again, it's easy for me. My excuse is always going to be that I'm a blogger. So it's kind of like when you say blogger, it makes it a bit more like informal, as opposed to me being a journalist. If it's a journalist, I mean, there has to be those clear demarcations. Emotions aside, what you have to do is just report what happened, report the story, report how it happened. So, to be honest, I do not think I don't think I'm that brave. I honestly, and maybe it's that I'm not giving myself enough credit, but I hope to be that brave that I will just push through and sort of sort of be able to just follow his story through and through like that. I'm just being honest right here. Like I don't like it can be a lot, especially for me. I'm a very, very emotional person, so sometimes handling those emotions can be a lot. What do you think?
You know my stance about something like that. I can't. There's some things that are very close to home, for me, and I don't. I personally, even when there was a day that I had a guest on the show and she was sharing her life story and life this and life that, and at some point, me that was listening to the story, I started crying. The person telling her story itself was not that, and it just made me know that there are some things that I probably will have to like close my eyes to understand that it like life happens. You understand? Like life happens, this is what it is. I can't fight all the battles at the end of the day. I have to understand that. So I think at the end of the day, it's important for us to actually take time off. Like as people that, especially if you like you talk to people, you counsel, you get my point. To be very sincere, just take time off from time to time and be truthful in your approach when you are counseling people, even though
I and you know
um,
what? Not that I even mentioned that. I don't even know how counselors and people do it because me, I'm the kind of person that I like to buy people's problem. So you can tell me something, I will just absorb this. It's not because of one problem. It now becomes it's me that it definitely takes a lot to be a journalist and to be able to tell the story. And it's based on the movie is based on a true life story. I'm so glad that you know in a country that we hardly have investigative journalism,
mhm.
someone was able to, go and find out these things that we can have conversations about and, find ways that we can, what the ways are forward.
So,
What,
so Dami, I want to ask something, and I want our viewers to also like think about it for 1 minute. And sorry, my camera disconnected. I think something twitched on this technology, so I had to disconnect it. So, how do you feel? And this is just going back to our topic for today. I'm looking at it from the perspective of someone that was, oh, come get the better life, come get a better life. And they get the better life, but they never knew that they were signing up for slave trade or prostitution or all that. And let's say at the end of the day in life, you go through all that, although you are better, you get what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And how do you forgive that person that introduced you to that? Even if you've forgiven, how do you heal? Even if you heal, how do you make sure that you don't see the person in like 5 years and you are still sad or angry or bitter about it? How do you deal with that issue?
I, you know what? First of all, I think that
Because it's like a
uh,
scar. Every scar on my body, I know where I got them from, right? And they will tell you that when you can't forget, but when you heal after forgiveness, it's that you see the scar, but you don't go through that when you forgiven really, you don't see that person and that gushness of bitterness and all that comes rushing through your veins. So is it the same thing for us? Like how do you
yeah,
work
I,
with it?
I I think that you know we have to understand that we first of all have to understand that forgiveness is a process.
Yeah, it is.
And I would advise that you take that process. I don't have any there's no scriptural backing that comes to my mind at the moment. But I think that a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves with forgiveness. Yeah, and sometimes we struggle with the fact that oh we can't like I forgive you. Like I'll give you an example. Last week or last 2 weeks, something happened and I felt very, very hurt. Like something happened work related and I felt very, very hurt. And it was an Oga, subordinate situation. So I
Yeah.
felt like I didn't have any power in the situation to sort of I just had to you know, take it the way it was. But I went to God and I was like, God, I'm really, really upset. You've placed this person above me. You know what really happened. right? And I'm really, and throughout the week, I felt I caught myself thinking about that hurt that I was feeling. So I'll be praying and I'll think about like the conversation and think about, and then I'll go back to God again and say, God, I'm dropping this at your feet. If you think I like, if you feel that I was wrong, you will, and until I got to the point that I was able to completely let go. We need to understand that forgiveness is a process. Sometimes you can just forgive like that.
Mm,
And sometimes you need to take your time
mm,
in, processing what you've experienced. I
mm.
also think that we need to normalize, certain conversations. Like we need to, it's because we don't talk about a lot of things that people still harbor these things in them, because there's no outlet, there's no way to express, those things. Imagine going through some form of traumatic hurt, like being raped and whatnot, and then you are just, it's just in you. You're keep
Yeah.
like, at some point there's there's going to be an explosion, there's going to be an outburst, right? So we
Yeah.
have to normalize some situations, like normalize some conversations rather, not, situations, and not saying that rape or anything is okay, but normalize some conversations to be able to talk to, so that people can seek help and counsel.
Mm,
Again, for someone like me, that anybody that's close to you will tell you that, forget all this dummies out there, all that kind of thing. I'm really not as out there as people think I am. Like, I know you know this. I'm just a keyboard warrior. And honestly, and when I'm put in a position that I have to do certain things, but I'm very to myself. Like,
mm.
I'm very, very to myself. The things that bother me, the things that I'm going through, I tend to, just be in my own bubble. So I know how difficult it is sometimes sharing what I'm going through. I know how difficult, and you see, and that's one of the ways that the enemy uses
Yeah.
to, because it makes you feel like there's no one that would understand. There's no one that will get it. Ah, damn me. Hey, this thing that you're going through. If you even say it, yeah, how can you say that you're a Christian? And and all of a sudden you feel like, you feel unworthy, you feel like, there's something wrong with you, you feel like your experiences are just peculiar to you. It's the lie of the devil. And the
But
thing is
is
that,
it okay? Sorry. Yeah, continue.
no,
Sorry.
I was just trying. The thing is that God has placed people around us, and we should learn to use them. I can't. We can only help each other when we know what's wrong with each other. Do you get
Yeah.
what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think part of it, and it's also on the part of us too, on the other side, that when people are, to be approachable, to be, was is it empath to
Empathic.
empathic, thank you, to be empathic, to listen to people's stories without judgment, to listen to their experiences, learn from them. And do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like that place of trust also, like that place of trust where
Trust.
I think that's the biggest issue. I call my mom to say this, or I call my dad, or I call my cousin, and or I call my pastor, or I call my everybody has that one person they will love to talk to, but looking at it from a place of you talk to that person and you hear it somewhere else, you get, or that place of judgment, like you just said, or it comes to that place of, Dami, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and Dami comes on the show like, so I remember one of my friends that you get my point. So everybody kind of they've hurt me before, they've done this to me before. If they've done it before, then they will do it again. So I can't. And everybody lives in that bubble of what they can't do and why they've been hurt in the past and why they can't come back to the. Everybody has been hurt, and I think that you should take time to heal before you go into any even friendships. I take a lot of time to be very close to people just because I've been hurt in the past, especially when it comes to friendships. And certainly, I always tell myself when I'm going into a new friendship or a new relationship with someone, and I tell myself, what's the goal? What's the essence of having this friendship? Okay, so what do you want to get from it? Or so when you're in this, do you trust this person enough? Do you believe this person enough? Do you feel like this person will not talk about? I put everything together in the box. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to we still have to open ourselves and open our minds to an environment as Nigerians, as Africans, as human beings, as Christians, as whatever it is that you are. Always put that place of trust and understand and put a record in your mind that human beings will fail you. Your father, your mother, your cousin, give people the allowance. I don't see my pastor as assistant Holy Ghost. I don't think that is the almighty cousin to Jesus. He could fail, he could do something that's wrong too, and it's okay for him to do it sometimes. But when he does it, do I dehumanize him and feel like, oh, he's a terrible person? No, I have to also understand that he's human first, and he being human first will make me have that place of let me be able to trust, let me be able to understand that this person is a human being. It could happen to anybody. Look at Elijah. Elijah that had a strong chest of, you know what? I'm Elijah. Hey, prophet of Baal, slay. And one woman was looking for him, and the next thing he wanted to commit suicide. And I'm like, what? So if someone that was close to God that much that he could command fire from heaven. He could say no rain and rain did not fall. You understand? Imagine me
He
that
could, he could,
I
he
am
could give you
thinking.
a show. He poured water on the
You understand?
everything.
So imagine someone like that going through and that's just a place that even as friends, let's if you know that you can't open up to your friends, then you don't have friends yet. And I'm being truthful. You might not like what I've said, but if you cannot,
And you know what? That's why I'm going to. That's why I went back to even saying that we have to be, as a community, whatever community we are in, we
yeah,
even if we have difference of ideology, like we should be able to listen to other people and see where they are coming from. Like I
yeah,
think that is such a great skill to have. Is that you a lot of times we hold on to our own, and then process information based on
our mindset
our
basically.
mindset.
Yeah,
So I think that we need to be better friends. We need to be better because
be better.
I mean
Each
things
and
like
every
this
one
are
of us.
happening.
Yeah.
How are we going to, as I rightly said, one of the things that someone actually said we needed to talk about was with situations like this, human trafficking, as a community, as a Christian community, what do we do? The only thing that I can even think of, because I always like to be proactive, what's the way out?
Yeah.
It's education.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've realized in communities like this is that I'll give you an example to buttress my point. So in 2014, I went to Nigeria. My genotype is AC, right? And it's just a slightly better version than AS.
Yeah.
You know, my dad is SC, so he's C class, slightly better than SS. So, but I'd done a couple of genetic tests here, and there were just so many things that was discovered about my genetics, and I felt like, okay, this it made so much sense about where I was coming from, right? It made so it made so much sense from where I was coming from, right? Um
Yeah.
because sorry guys, I was a bit distracted. Because now it was like, oh, this is what has been going on in the family, because a lot of people married from neighboring villages, so it was pretty much the same genetic pool,
Yeah.
right? And so when I went back to Nigeria, I told my family, I told my dad, told my uncles that I wanted to have like an awareness in my village and just sort of educate people of, okay, this is why, because we have a lot of sicklers in my extended family. Like so many people die at Biku, like all the whole. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is why there's a solution. Let's talk about it. And I was going to have like a program. Do you know what my educated father, my very educated, my dad is a PhD holder. Do you know what my educated uncles, my educated, they said, Dami, the people are not ready for that.
Hmm.
You're going to come in looking like I am better than you.
Yeah.
We have not eaten. We don't have food. We don't have jobs. They are coming to tell us that there's something wrong with our lineage. That means save yourself the trouble. people want to eat first.
Hmm.
To me, I was like, with my, you know,
With
I
your
just go
zeal
back
and
to it. I was
everything.
like, Daddy, how can you be saying this? This is because me, I'm thinking that if we can solve this problem, instead of us always donating money that somebody is in the hospital, instead of us always donating, we have solved the problem from the root.
From the
So
roots,
back,
yeah.
so back to what I was saying. Sorry, guys, we'll have to be rounding up shortly. Our baby is busy. But anyways, um, but we have to deal with it from the root. So the only thing I can think of is education. You know, how do we educate and deal with this thing?
And which we will stop on that to talk about that next week. And I want to talk about it in the and I probably will probably have a doctor come in and talk about the balance between I heard God but his genotype doesn't match. I think that's going to be our title
Mm.
because a lot of people I think Dami, you and I have had that conversation before where people say, "Oh, I heard God. Oh, I heard God," and you get my point. So I
Mhm.
think we'll talk about that um next week so that we kind of draw the conversation towards that, even where we have to even forgive our parents for sometimes intentionally doing some things. You get
Mm.
so guys, thank you for joining us this week. We're still in between technical higgy haggers, but
But I
next week
figuring it
we're
out.
back. Yeah, we're back better. Thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Anuadediri, damiadeni.com. Don't forget to check out damiadeni.com's our
My
blog
platform.
page.
Link in the bio.
Don't forget to do that. The link is in our bio. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels also, Anodedire and Dami Adeni. Till we see you next week. God bless you. Have a blessed week. Don't forget to share with your friends and let them join in the conversation. And don't forget to go watch Òlòtūré on Netflix. Supporting Africa, supporting Nigeria, and all the good work we're doing right now. So till we see you next week, we celebrate you. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. Me,
Happy
I'm not killing
Thanksgiving.
turkey. I'm not killing turkey because my birthday is in how many days? How many days? Today is 10, right? So my birthday is in 9 days. So I'm going to keep all my turkey and my chicken for my birthday. Um,
Eh,
so let's keep it locked down. Till I see you next time. Until Dami sees you next time. God bless you. God keep you. Bye.
Bye, guys.